So this is this will be CPL Preseason Week 2, Group 25. I know Airn is in this group. I also know Durandal is in this group. I don't remember who else is in this group. Airn and Durandal are the two names that first come to mind, but we will see. I'm just gonna jump straight into game 1 then. Oh. Okay, so this is game 1. This is the map is Vermeer for this week, and in the top right we have Durandal, and over here we have Airn. Airn is known to be quite a clowny player in these sorts of matches, I would say, but we will see what he does this time. And I am faintly familiar with Durandal as a name, but I have very little clue of how he plays. And yeah, please inform me if there are any problems with sound. Microphone, too loud, too quiet, anything. So right now, we have Overlord scouting in this direction. And Durandal is leaving a pylon in his base. So this is already getting interesting because this is PvZ. You almost never see a pylon inside the main base in this matchup. I'm curious what he will do with this pylon. And I don't know if this was intentional, but Airn did not scout the Overlord in the proper direction. Normally Zergs scout the Overlord towards the natural, but Airn is going to send it straight into the main. So that seems a bit odd. I am aware that Zergs sometimes do send their Overlords in weird spots, but usually when they do so, they send it like this. They basically send it to like the opposing natural, so they would send it like this. But Airn's sending it directly down, so I think Airn just forgot where the naturals are on this map. And yeah, it's going to be 2 gate. This is not 10-12 gate. As you can see, the gates happened before 12 supply, so this will be a bit more aggressive than you would usually see 2 gates be. And it's already a rather aggressive build. Anyway, Airn is still completely in the dark. Airn has no idea what is happening. He did not see... I don't think he's seen the probe yet, and he's not seen the main. He's gonna send a drone right over here. That's gonna return empty. Are we not... Okay, we're supply blocked. There was definitely something messed up with the optimization here. This is not supposed to happen. We definitely messed something up. And it seems like so far we're not getting a gas, so we're gonna stay on Zealot tech for a while. I think Airn still has no idea this is coming. He does have a pull, and he's going to start making links, but unfortunately he's also making a drone. I think Airn will get very caught off guard by this, but thankfully he will be saved by the fact that we had that nasty supply block, which basically means we have 1 less Zealot from Durandal. And we just traded 1 link to just like get minor damage on the probe. Okay, hatchery in the bottom of the map. I think Airn would have to survive this rush before that would return any sort of benefit. Okay, we're making a sunken colony. We are gonna drone drill on top of the sunken colony, which makes sense. This is a good drone drill. But we just don't have the larva. We just don't have the lings. Like, we're broke because we weren't mining. Does Durandal always play like this? Or is he just like trying to match Airn's style? This is so aggressive. Very Protoss, one might say. I mean, realistically, I don't think there's much of a chance for Airn anymore. We can just keep pumping Zealots. and we're broke. We're going after the spawning pool, or we can just like kill the last 8 drones. Uh-oh, this seems like there was a pause. We're making a core arcade? What? Okay. These will be the last links of the game. They did get a good surround. This is a pretty good train from the links, killing 1 zealot for free. It looks like we're gonna get on top of the horror gate and cancel it. Alright, how do 8 links fight 4 zealots? 5 zealots. It doesn't seem possible to me. We're not remaking our spawning pool. We only just now got the minerals for it, so we're now putting down the spawning pool at the 5-minute mark. 9-9? No, it was not 9-9. I guess Airn is still so blind that he still has no idea what happened. Yeah, it was 10-10. GG. Alright. I am really curious. Does Durandal do this every single game? Or like something like this? Or was this just like a special one-off? Alright. That was game 1. Moving on to game 2. Game 2 is Durandal versus Moonwalk. I guess Moonwalk Milk Staff 4K? Moonwalk? I'm gonna go with Moonwalk. Anyways, this is another Zerg apparently, and Durandal's over here, bottom right and top right. I think this time the Overlord is being sent properly, because if I remember correctly, on Vermeer the natural should be over here. So the Overlord is being sent in the proper direction this time, and it seems like this game will be more standard, judging by the pylon in the natural. Was sent out a bit early, but it will put down a pylon. Okay, yeah. Oh, wait. Just a minute. What? Trying to think how does this make sense. And my conclusion said it does not make sense unless you maybe put a gateway here and a gateway here. I don't think this makes sense. Because on this position you would place the pylon over here, and then the forge here, and then the gateway here. Okay. Yeah, I think it would be Milk Steak. But they're also called Moonwalk, I think, in the replay file. And maybe they're called that in the Discord as well. I'm curious if the Overlord saw that. I don't think it did. What? Okay. It's still some kind of wall. If I saw this as Zerg, I would just do 3 hatch speed leak all in. If we are going to get the pylon block, are we actually going to trap the probe? Oh, that's nasty. That was a mixture of like really good luck and really good play from Milksteak. Moonwalk. I think you can just like place a hatchery over here or over here while this happens. Like, you don't need to respect this. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're going to place a hatchery on the map. It's going to be a very far away hatchery, indicating that this will be a late game macro style Zerg, because you can't really like Hydra bust with this hatchery here. I think you probably just wait till links are finished and then kill this. You know, over here we are gonna make a gate and a cannon. This is a very late nexus, So, while Zerg probably feels bad about this pylon, the counterpoint is that Durandal spent 100 minerals on this pylon, then had to get a Nexus. Well, no, had to get cannons, then a gateway, meaning that this Nexus is very, very late. And there's like room for like 3 or 4 links over here, plus I think a link through here possibly, because I don't think this gap is link tight, if I remember correctly. Oh no, I don't think it is link tight. And yeah, the links are just gonna run through, which makes sense. But there's enough cannons that like it wasn't entirely worth it. We'll see what he gets done with these things, but I imagine they're not gonna get done a whole lot. Then yeah, there's also more room for links to run over here. So there's so many holes in this wall, and it's not even, this is not even a wall anymore. Like this is just like some forward structure. It's not a wall in any capacity. Okay, 1 link, 1 probe down. I'm gonna try to keep track of these links. So far they've killed 3 probes, 4 probes. I think the probes are gonna keep going down probably. Unless, did he kill them? No, they're still around. What's the tech? It's gas. It's just gas so far. Meanwhile, the Nexus is almost finished. We don't have gas yet. This will be a very late core. An exceptionally late core. I think you just have to, like, maybe place a cannon. Like, you have to bring something to stop this. Oh, Forge Under Gate is tight. It might be. I don't remember specifically, like, because I always just like think of the wall as like when I imagine these positions, I always just like think of it as a whole wall. When I like see the whole wall, I can see where the link tight spots are and where the link free spots are. Like where links can run through and where they cannot. But when I see like this, my brain just shuts down, honestly. Now it's 3 kills on this link. The first link died, the second link is still alive. We're just droning up. We have a higher drone count than the Protoss, which is quite rare and quite bad, usually. We did do a cannon. We're running the link back into the cannon, which, it's not gonna get really a whole lot done anymore. We are sending 1 Zealot across the map. We should have links. Okay, we have a second Zealot over here. Okay, yeah. It seems like the links will eventually deal with this. If not, we can just make more links. This is a very good position for Zerg, as you can imagine. We can kind of just like afford to fight the Zealots. Probably not in this position. Would have been good if it was surrounded. Lair finished. Do we even have Cybercore? No, it's only now starting. I mean, do you just like put down a Spire from this position? Like, why not, right? Like, you can force so many cannons out of the Protoss if you just like place down a Spire, because they have to be afraid of the Mutas. I mean, we're floating so much, like just like place down a building, like just make a building. Yeah, okay, yeah, Spire. There we go. Like, I imagine that Moonwalk is probably unused to having this high of a drone count at this point in the game, which is why they're floating so much. Because, like, it's quite unusual for Zerg to have this good of a position. And his Zealot is doing a lot. 2 kills? 3 kills? 3 kills. Not 4th kill. Not a 4th kill. But we need links. Okay, there are the links. We need to bring them down. Now that the Zealots have applied their pressure, the worker count has basically equalized, so it's definitely going back into Durandal's favor. He's done a lot with these Zealots over the past, like, 3 minutes. We're actually gonna... Yeah, there's actually no more drones mining in this natural. All of our money is now coming here and here. We need to, like, re-drone up the natural. On the plus side, we do have Hydras now. Are we getting the Hydra upgrades? Please pause. Yeah. It seems like... I wonder if we're also gonna go Mutas on top of Hydras. Oh, I just noticed we're only now getting the second gas. Interesting. Okay, we did go Stargate. Why did we place a gateway over here? This is a very strange spot to place our gateways. It basically means that, like, any units will have to go all the way up from here to get to the natural. And besides, if you, like, construct buildings over here, Dragoons spawning in these gateways will, like, have to, like, will basically get stuck on every single building in the Protoss space as they leave it. We're massing up on Hydras. Worrying sign for the Protoss. We are now sending our first Corsair across the map at the 9-minute mark. The Corsair did not fly across the ground unit path. Corsair is taking the straight path. So Durandal might not know that this is coming. If I saw this, I would go up to like 6-8 cannons instantly. Are we like waiting for our timing? I mean, like, maybe we're waiting for Hydra speed before moving out with this. We did kind of like send out too much. We could have left some Hydras at home to stop this. Are we actually? Okay, they died at the same time. I thought that the Overlord would be saved, honestly. The gateways to spawn Dragoons into the mineral line. True. We're making a second cannon? We're really suspecting Mutas. Which makes sense, we did see the Spire. And we did not... Okay, now we're gonna see this. We're gonna place more cannons now, I imagine. I don't think 5 cannons is enough against this many Hydras. To be honest, my feeling has been for a while that Moonwalk can just kind of A-move and just kind of win the game, and could have done it like a minute ago, and just hadn't. Are we adding a 4th probe to the gas? No, okay. Why do we have no workers in the natural? This is like less than full saturation. Seems like our main is kind of decently saturated, but our natural is not saturated at all. And this gateway is a meme. I don't have no... I guess the Dragoon will spawn over here, and I guess it'll leave this path. I have a feeling that if this game goes like for another like 20 minutes, this Protoss space will look like an absolute mess. Fight happening. Yeah, you just kind of need to retreat this. The zealot count is built up enough that you can't really fight this many zealots. Retreat to the SimCity. Okay, we're just gonna stand outside the Zerg base. Zerg is getting a 4th. Has some AFK units over here. We are moving out. I feel like this move out wasn't necessary. I don't know why we moved out at this point. We could have just gotten more Hydras and just overwhelmed the Zealots, rather than trying to fight the Zealots on like an even unit count. Behind this, what do we have? We don't have... Okay, we do have the Templar Archives, never mind. But we don't have Templars making. We are floating 1,500 minerals and 1,000 gas. I think we just kind of need to make stuff. This is like the just make stuff, please portion of the game. Over here, we do have a decent enough drone count. We do have lurkers. I don't think we have a robo. Realistically, Moonwalk can just kind of like move these lurkers up here and get a contain going. There's nothing stopping that from happening. First Templars of the game, it seems, and a DT. Right now, there's not much this DT can get done. Every single spot has overlords, other than the main, but you would need a robo to get into the main. What else do we have happening? We're still trying to do this push, but this push is worthless without observers, and we don't have observers coming. Do we... Okay, where's the robo? I wish I could click on this to see where it is. Imagine it's like somewhere over here. Yeah, it's literally... It's over here. Okay. Flying Hydras. Also, Scourge over here. Okay. And I guess this is... Okay, more Hydras just scouting for a third. Really, it seems like Moonwalk is trying very hard to make sure that there's no third out on the map. Which makes sense. Are we going to saturate this? I imagine we will start to saturate this shortly. I think we probably need to start getting this gas, because it seems like right now our mineral to gas ratio is very far off as Moonwalk. Okay, these Hydras will just kind of die. This flank isn't nearly large enough to really accomplish much. They got okay-ish trades, but I don't think losing 12 Hydras is worth killing 1 Templar and like some spare Zealots. Oh, okay. I guess we're just taking a hidden corner base. Why not? I mean, if this game goes long, this will definitely pay off. Moonwalk might just send Hydras there and scout it. Yeah, it seems like Moonwalk scouted this at some point in the game and is now just like sending an army to stop it. Honestly, the funny thing is, Moonwalk is sending such a big army that if you had observers, you could just kind of use this opportunity to push over here. Wow, that's crazy. To push over here and like just like overwhelm these lurkers and kill the game and like end the game. This CT is doing a lot. Or could do a lot. That was a crazy storm. Okay, so it seems like Moonwalk lost some Hydras, but in return killed the corner base, putting Durandal back to 2 base economy, and it is 15 minutes, so Durandal needs to start thinking really hard about getting a third. Our main is gonna be mined out soon. We only have 300-ish minerals left. This is a weird push. I mean, like, invisibility is invincibility. If you don't have any observers or overlords around, then yeah, invisible units can just get a million kills. Okay, but we did bring overlords over, so the DT is dead now. Rip. And we just kind of like throw away like 2 control groups into lurkers and did nothing for it. Ripperoni. Sad to see. Okay, only +2, and this is +1. What are we doing? Didn't we try this like a minute ago? Why are we sending more units in? Like, they're obviously just gonna die to lurkers. What did we expect would happen? I can't get over the space layout. This is like... Where does the Dragoon even spawn from this gateway? Does it spawn over here or over here? I don't even know. We have 2 AFK Templars in the corner of our base. They're on leave. Or maybe they're striking. I don't know. Okay. Finally, I'm an observer. Yeah, be proud of yourself, Hydra. It only took you, like, a minute to kill 1 Zealot. This is a lot of hatcheries, which makes sense. We are floating a lot of minerals, so you might as well just, like, place down, like, 4 additional hatcheries. Why not? Realistically, I don't see how Protoss can possibly get out of this position. This isn't even, like, a good storm, like... We need better storms than, like, 1 storm for 1 lurker. But the storms you need to get out of this are so good that, like, it's not even realistic. Okay, to be completely honest, I think I'm pretty ready to say that this game is almost certainly over. I mean, it has to be over. How can Protoss ever get out of this position? This is the final boss of all Lurker contains, and we don't even have a control group of cocoons. The only saving grace is that we had few enough probes in our mineral base that we're still mining from it, and we still have a lot of minerals left. Because technically, this would be about the time that this base would normally be mined out in a standard game. Oh. I guess it died. Okay, yeah. This will be the final fight of the game. These are good storms. They're just not good enough. That storm was not great. That storm killed more zealots than it killed Hydras. Yeah, rip. I mean, you do kind of just have enough Hydras that if you wanted to, you could actually just throw away 20 Hydras to kill these cannons and then finish the game. Although I wouldn't recommend it. You know, it's always better to play safe. I can understand why Zerg isn't finishing out the game. Alright, the Lurker's finished up. That was our one window of opportunity. Obviously, Durandal did not know that there were a bunch of Lurkers finishing up here. If he did, he might have tried to push. Rip. How many Templars do we have left? One? Yeah, one Templar. And we still have both gases operational, so we can make more Templar, but obviously it doesn't matter. So let's... Yeah, you got the gotcha. Yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate. It seems like the whole build kind of fell apart, and we didn't know what we were doing. We just kind of were late on the Templars, and then we were late on the Dragoons, and we were especially late on the Observer. I don't know if Milk got a hive. He probably did, because realistically, the Zerg was just in a position where Zerg could do everything possible. Zerg could have gotten a Queen's Nest, a Hive, a Defiler Mount, an Ultra Cavern, a Greater Spire. Zerg could have gotten every single tech building in the game. And all 3 Evo Chambers. Right, that was Game 2. Game 3, Durandal versus Scimo. It seems like the Durandal games are all starting out first, and then it's going to be everything else. It also seems like that not everybody in this group played each other, because I think normally there would be more than 5 replays. But that's fine by me. PvP. Okay. Airn, what do I do? Is Airn watching this? I'm curious, was Airn watching this game? He probably was, otherwise why would you say Airn, what do I do? Anyways, top left is Scimo. Bottom left is Durandal. I'm trying to think, who's advantaged from this position in this matchup? I think that since you can just kind of send shuttles downwards, and they will show up in the main, and then the shuttles have a lot of room to fly in whatever path they choose, down here, through here, or diagonally like this. I think this is probably better for Scimo in this matchup. Because I think in a standard mid game, I think it just provide Scimo with more options on how to fly shuttles into the opponent main. But we did get a scout as Durandal, so that might even out the advantage. Currently, Scimo's probe is AFK. Oh, 12 Nexus. So when you see this, I think you just kind of have to play very defensive. Or rather, you just kind of have to... Wow, okay. Oh, they're both going macro builds. Oh, this is weird. I mean, realistically, if this was 9-9 gate, and if I saw this, I would assume 9-9 gate. The game would be over before this cannon finished. So it is technically lucky for Durandal that Scimo is not doing a proxy gate build. Because if I saw this, I would assume it was proxy gate. Because like you see like no tech, no gateways, you have to assume that something's out on the map. My first assumption would be proxy gate, and the proxy gate would send zealots in before these cannons would be finished. I'm pretty sure. So I think in the if this against proxy gate, this would be 100% a mistake. But against 12 Nexus, this is still bad because these cannons aren't going to do anything. They're just worthless cannons. We're making more cannons. Well, now we're just like so far behind. Like our opponent will have a Nexus done before we even start ours. We're not getting any tech. This is this is just a very Scimo advantaged position. Like, this is a complete build order win. I have no idea what Durandal assumed to make 4 cannons, but it was definitely a mistake this game. Oh, we were trying to proxy gate? No, I mean like proxy cannon. I mean, might have worked if it wasn't scouted. I wonder if that was like the only plan. It was just to like a cannon rush. It's been so long since I saw cannon rush, like I didn't even think about it at first. You can just kind of like send down 3 probes and kill this. Like, just like send out... Yeah, okay, first zealot. That'll also stop it. No ADs get up. And they're both cancelled. Then we have to kill the pylon. I definitely did not expect these games to be so weird. Or like, this PvP to be so weird, rather. This is wild. Did we only place this gateway down here because this pylon wasn't finished yet? I have to assume that's what it is. Because this placement is pretty troll. Like, imagine making a Dragoon here, having it walk down here, and having it get around through this little, like, path. Imagine having, like, 6 Dragoons trying to get through this little, like, path over here to get it out of the base. Okay, so oddly enough, now that I'm looking at this game state again, we do have a finished Cyber Core, and we do have Dragoon range started, but in terms of economy, Durandal actually has a higher probe count than Scimo right now, and more gateways. So while the position was certainly bad for Durandal, right now, it looks like a somewhat evenish game, I would say. The only problem is that I think Durandal still doesn't know about the hidden nexus. And yeah, you can't really do anything against this many cannons. Okay, 3rd gate. Are we gonna also go for goon range? We are, okay, yeah. 4th gate, seems like we're just making a bunch of Dragoons. If you're gonna play this sort of game, it's very important to be on top of production. You have to not miss probes. Okay, nice. If you're struggling with this, it might be a good idea to, like, camera hotkey this Nexus. So that, like, every 15 seconds you can go back to it and make a new probe. Because this is a problem. That was, like, almost an entire probe missed. Gotta stay on top of it. Please. Please. Nice. There we go. Yeah, I'm curious what this pylon will be for. It might just be a scouting pylon to make sure that Durandal doesn't take the other corner of the map. The way these Dragoons are batting is so funny. They're just like trying to get through this little like crack. Like, okay, they are targeting the Zealot, unfortunately. We lost basically just a Dragoon for nothing. We're also not mining this gas. After all that happened, the pro production is like very even. 36 versus 37, both on 2 base. We are getting our third though. So that is the advantage of going for a corner base. Like our third just kind of like comes for free later on. But we do have a proxy Reaver probably. Why are we making an observatory here? Like, making an observatory here just like, oh, maybe it's just like to keep the Robotech hidden. If there was like an observer in our base, it would see that like there's no Robotech. And the making an observer back in our base would like tip off that there is Robotech out on the map. I guess that makes sense. We're also making 2 cannons just to like defend it from TTs maybe, or like from just like any units that pass by. Seems weird. Yeah, Scimo wins this fight. Got a better angle, got more Dragoons. Really, there's no need to push out until you have an overwhelming army. Or some sort of advantage. Okay, Durandal got a scout on this base. Do you send a robo into this base or into this base? I mean, I think this base, I think this Nexus is more saturated, so I think you probably send the Reaver over here. Is my guess. Also, whose scout is this? This is Scimo's scout. So Scimo will see where the Reaver goes, or not, because the scout will die. Okay, so Scimo knows there will be a Reaver drop, but Scimo does not know where the Reaver drop will be. So Scimo has to make positions at both sides to defend against it. Like, we could send a control group of goons to clear out all of this tech, but the Reaver will be out before the Dragoons get here. Please don't tell me that this shuttle will just be sniped. Please, like, please move this. Like, what are we waiting for exactly? Like, we need to start... This Reaver drop could have happened like 30 seconds ago. What are we waiting for? Okay, yeah, let's go. Go, go, go. No. Why are you doing this? What? Are you seriously trying to defend this tech? This is dead. You can't... You have to, like, just drop. Like... Are we, like, seriously trying to make this an entrenched position? Like, we can't, like, entrench this. Like, eventually Scimo will kill all of this. We just have to get as much done with it before it dies as possible. Oh dear, it's gonna fly into the cannon. Oh no. The second cannon? Gonna fly into the second cannon. Okay, it seems like the Reaver, all that it will do is just like kill a few probes and stop mining at this base. And meanwhile, Durandal is getting a Nexus here, and getting the cannons to defend it. This is very ladder Protoss. Because like ladder Protosses do this all the time, where they like try to get hidden bases out on the map and turn it into a long game. Okay, I think the Reaver will die shortly. But for some reason the Dragoons bugged out and did not go directly to the Reaver. Oh, but the Reaver's out of Scarab, so it can't kill the Dragoon. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, we just kind of lost so much tech. I mean, like, the idea was cute, but realistically, it was probably not worth it. Do we have Templar archives? Because usually these games just evolve into storm grinding. That is a ridiculous number of cannons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cannons, Jesus Christ. 9 cannons, and like if there was just like a Reaver here, they would all be useless. 1-1 versus 1-0. More gateways. I'm guessing that both of them will start making Templar archives pretty soon. Oh, okay, yo, here it is. Oh, we're going up to Arbiter. Makes sense. Arbiter is definitely like very OP in these sorts of positions. You can just kind of like stasis your opponent army out in the middle of the map and win fights, or you can just like recall into the opponent bases. Very hard to stop that. But I would also like to see some High Templars, you know, like Storm is very OP. Okay, this is like some bad Dragoon pathing, like half the Dragoons are like bugged out over here and only now started fighting. And Scimo had a better angle the whole time. Right now this fight is starting to get more even. We just lost like half a control group of goons to these cannons, only killing 3 cannons. Over here, Scimo is also losing this fight. What does Scimo have? Scimo has gateways or dragoons. Carriers? Why carriers? Carriers are bad in this position, at least. Sometimes carriers can be good, but not from this position. I would not make carriers. I would probably go for arbiters. I just don't think the carriers will come out fast enough, first of all. Like, this base will die before the carriers finish. Why are we making more cannons? Like, when we have an army advantage, making cannons seems questionable. We do need to saturate this space. However, it seems that, like... Okay, maybe Scimo will hold this. But, yeah, this is not enough to hold this. This space will probably die. Curious if the first carrier will... yeah, I think the first carrier will finish. But it'll spawn with no interceptor, so it'll just die immediately after. Oh, the pylon. Oh, never mind. There was like 2 seconds left on the carrier, but the pylon died, so it didn't finish. There's the carrier, though. High ground dragoons versus low ground dragoons. RIP. I've heard that there's a term in Korea that goes something like flower Protoss. It's for Protosses to build a bunch of cannons. Because apparently, like, maybe somehow photon cannons look like flowers. Oh, is this the end of the game? Oh, well, I mean, to be honest, it looks pretty over, but I thought it said please pause. I'm a bit confused, I'll be honest. Please pause, but then... So what happened? I'll be honest, I'm a bit puzzled. Why is the replay over when it just said please pause? Weird. I mean, to be quite honest, I don't think Scimo can win from this position, because Scimo's about to lose both Nexuses. and Durandal has a bit bigger army. So in that sense, I do think the game is over. But I'm a bit surprised to see no GG or no like, or no anything. All right. Yeah, very Protoss game. Alright. That was Durandal versus Scimo. Next up is Durandal versus SeeQu and Moonwalk versus SeeQu. I don't know who SeeQu is. Well, let's get into it. This will be game 4. Cross pawn. Airn versus Protoss. SeeQu is bottom left, and Durandal is top right. Yeah, I would love to know who won that game. I highly suspect it's Durandal because... Yeah, okay, yeah. Durandal winning that game makes sense, considering he had an overwhelming army advantage and was about to kill the 2 bases for Scimo. There was no path forward for Scimo. The carriers were not going to do anything. This seems like a, yeah, pylon in the natural. So this will either be forward gate or Nexus first. Generally speaking, I think Nexus first does not place a pylon in the natural, so I think it's going to be forward gate. But we will see. Meanwhile, this is a wall attempt. There is no way that this probe gets into the space before the wall finishes, I think. Yeah, okay, gateway. Makes sense. And that being said, I find the position of this gateway to be quite funny. I would place a gateway like over here, or like over here, so that it could be part of a wall and later. Okay, I think this should be... Is this probe tight? Probably is probe tight. Actually, well, let me see. It might not be probe tight now that I think about it. Because you need like... I think it's supply depots on top of a barracks that makes something tight. I'm not sure if this counts as being on top, but we will see anyways. I'm not very familiar with like in-base wallens from Terran. Most people don't do them. The interesting thing is that there's no gas coming out, so this indicates gasless expansion so far. And over here, there's also no gas, which also might mean some sort of fast expansion with zealots. Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's gasless expansion. Maybe this is zealot tight, and the idea is that you try to rush at expansion, but if zealots come, you can just try to get into this defensive structure at the ramp and then get your expansion later on. Maybe that's the theory behind this. I imagine that this is zealot tight. There's no reason to do this if it's not zealot tight. We do have our zealot coming. We are not making a second zealot, so this will be it. If this doesn't accomplish anything, then this will be pretty good for Terran. Okay, well, so far this is going pretty well for Durandal. Yeah, 2 kills, and we're only now starting to take hull damage. Okay, and we killed the second SCV. So yeah, the zealot paid itself off, killing basically 150 minerals worth of stuff. And then we have to lift the barracks to take our command center and finish it. We are behind in gas mining right now. We got our refinery later than the assimilator. And yeah, factory started. Over here, We're probably gonna start goons shortly. Actually did a lot of damage. Wow, 600 damage? I'm impressed. I'm curious if it will actually start doing hull damage. He's microing the CB so hard to get into the hull damage range. Okay, it'll die. Finally. Right? Yeah. It should die. Okay, the Dragoon is chasing it. We did consider doing some sort of like 4 Marine Rush, but... makes sense that we would pull back with that. That wasn't gonna accomplish much. Getting into siege tanks before Vulture, that makes sense. This is undersaturated. We should probably send like 3 more SCVs over here to finish up saturation, maybe more. Is this SeeQu fellow like somebody well known? If you SeeQu better run, lest you be molested? No, mutated? What is that reference to? Okay. Factory and Siege Tank. Siege Tank should finish up before these Dragoons do too much. I think this position is definitely holdable. And yeah, range is only now finishing. You can just kind of like bring some SCVs, repair this bunker. Don't let the siege tank die though, please. Okay, damn, the siege tank died. Well, unfortunate. Now this is actually pretty bad for Terran. SeeQu is well-known pro Armies of Exego player. I am not aware of that game. Huh, okay. Interesting. Okay, this second Dragoon run by did not accomplish nearly as much as the first, and now where the Dragoons are too low, we're just gonna lose all of our Dragoons for nothing. In fact, we can just kind of send out this Vulture and kill the last Dragoon. Kill it. It's got like 5 HP. It's literally got 11 HP. Come on, just kill it, please. It's gonna take 2 shots to kill it. Please, just send it out. Okay. Wraith. I think I've been so focused on this engagement, I forgot to capture the build. It's Starport, but we're not getting an add-on, which indicates that this is not like a fast dropship. We got this Wraith for scouting purposes and to maybe catch shuttles. And this Wraith might fly by the shuttle wheel. I don't think it spotted it. Okay. The shuttle snuck past the Wraith. We will see if the Wraith catches the shuttle on the return journey. We can just park the Wraith here and kill a probe. This shuttle has Zealots in it, so this indicates maybe a Bulldog attempt, where we try to A-move with Dragoons, bust the bunker, while dropping Zealots on top of any sieged tanks. But Terran might be trying to move out, and the shuttle will be useful for just, like, stopping it. I'm not a fan of this, though. We're just like, this is not how you execute a Bulldog. You don't just, like, drop the Zealots before attacking with the goons. Yeah, that wasn't it. That was just kind of a waste. We did kill some siege tanks. So it wasn't, like, completely horrible. But I think that could have been executed better from the Protoss. Are these the first mines of the game? I believe they are. The Wraith died without killing the shuttle. I don't know why we got the Starport just for 1 Wraith. I think, like, if you're gonna go Starport, you get more than 1 Wraith. You get, like, Dropship, or, like, 3 Wraiths. Just doesn't seem worth the investment for just 1 Wraith. The fast command center is interesting, but I just don't think we have the siege tank count to defend a third. We can just kind of keep on 4-gate production and make enough dragoons that that holding such a fast command center will not be possible. I think the core of the game is probably that Durandal has 47 probes and SeeQu has 33 SCVs. So that is like a 14 worker difference right now. That's a lot, and SeeQu is mining on 3 bases. So unless Durandal wins a really good army engagement, this economic difference will just make the game... Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Unless SeeQu wins a really good army engagement, this economic difference will just make things nearly impossible for SeeQu in the next 5 minutes. Speed vultures, though. 2 cannons over here makes this impregnable for them. They can try to run into the main and try to run up the ramp, but that's hard. If Protoss gets a dragoon on top of this ramp, all the vultures will die here. But they are laying some good mines. They can also scout the 4th. Right now we have 1 machine shop. We will probably add a second one soonish. Double armory is interesting. This isn't exactly upgrade Terran, but this is upgrade Terran-esque. And it's a very old way of playing Terran at this point. And we just don't have the unit count to really justify these sorts of upgrades, I would say. But God mines, Jesus. 5 dragoons get blown up, but we also lose all of our siege tanks. In part because there were so few siege tanks to start with. I think that was a really good engage from SeeQu with what SeeQu had, but the army difference was just too fast to make winning that fight possible. HP. Science vessel? Science vessel is definitely questionable. It's kind of just useless right now, unless we get D Matrix. But it takes 100 energy for D Matrix, so it's just takes a while to get to the spell. It's a very expensive spell in terms of energy cost. Other than that, it just doesn't do anything, because Protoss doesn't have arbiters yet, so the detection provided by this is useless. I don't think we even have Templar archives, so it's just kind of not a very useful unit right now. That being said, Durandal is not pressuring nearly enough to stop the 3rd from getting up. So we start mining our 3rd. Yeah, I would be interested to know more about this Armies of Execo game. What sort of game is it? I would like somebody to explain it in the chat. I'm probably going to Google this, Google it after this cast, because I don't think I've ever heard of the game before. Right now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gates versus 4 facts. So, yeah. We have a good economy. We can move past 4 facts. Okay, we're adding a 5th factory, but I would go up to 6 facts very quickly, as soon as possible, basically. And we need to saturate more SCVs over here. This is a very strange composition. We have Goliath when Durandal is not getting air units. We have science vessels, 2 science vessels at this point, when Durandal has no DTs or arbiters. We only have 2 siege tanks. These have to be really, really good D-matrixes to justify, all of this investment. We basically have to, keep both siege tanks alive for as long as possible with D-matrix. We need to cast it right now on this. Cast D-matrix, please. Please. Yeah. Oop. Unfortunate. Yeah, like, we're not gonna use D-Matrix. Like, this is too late. Like, D-Matrix on a Goliath is just not gonna do anything. We did keep one alive for the future, and it's the one that has enough energy for a D-Matrix. Okay, well, right now, rip. Is it gonna stay alive? No. What? Okay, yeah, there it goes, dies. Oh, triple forge. Oh, and he started upgrades all at once. Okay. Meanwhile, like like, I've seen Terrans with higher upgrades than this with only one armory. So it's like you make 2 armories, but you keep one of them not spinning. In terms of economy, it's definitely equalized. It's 58 versus 56, which is pretty good for Terran, all things considered. Plus, 7 of the probes are AFK. It's really only like 3.5 bases in terms of mining for Durandal, and Terran 3 base economy wins against a 4 base Terran, much less. Oh no, hold on. Terran 3 base economy wins against a 4 base Protoss, much less a 3.5 base Protoss. Send vultures over here to, yeah, scout where the Terran, where the Protoss army is. They can kind of sneak up through here, lay mines over here, same this High Templar, lay more mines like over here. This is a pretty good vulture movement. We do need to send up reinforcements. These siege tanks over here, the Goliaths over here. Please, D-Matrix. Do we have D-Matrix? Where's our science vessel with D-Matrix? Okay, but okay, Zealots got here in time. Or I feel like I'm mixing up lots of forts today. Vultures got here in time before the Zealots got on top of the tanks. Okay, yeah. We saved the base. We need to repair this. Like, this 2 D-Matrixes can do so much. Okay, Arbiter. Tech, probably. But no Arbiter Tribunal. Okay, there it is. What? Why? Ah yes, the double Arbiter Tribunal build, so that you can get both spells as quickly as possible before the Arbiter even has the energy to cast them. Okay, 2 cannons, same as over here. One thing is that if SeeQu made 1 dropship, dropped 4 vultures over here, he could kill the entire economy, and nothing these cannons would do about it. In fact, if he then dropped a tank over here, the pylons would block any Dragoons from getting on top of the tank. Dragons would have to kill the pylon wall before getting to any tank drop. That's kind of the downside of walling in as Protoss. Important, like, some of these Dragoons are very low on health, so they'll just kind of like get popped in the next fight. This is a good tank move out. It's not a big army, but it's well positioned. And I think we just need to... Okay, we have Psystorm. That clears it. Yeah. And the tanks in the back all basically just arrived in a big clump. So yeah, that's what I thought would happen. Like, the tanks... It was like a good army control, but just not a big enough army to justify that sort of move out through that sort of position into that much Protoss. Okay, we did clear the High Templar. We need to siege up these tanks. This tank will just kind of die, as will this tank. I have a feeling this will not be a good engagement for SeeQu. These tanks are just too low. But the mines, never mind. Let's check the factory count. It's 1. This is... I have a feeling that SeeQu needs to work on his factory position, because this is... Okay, yeah. Killing this supply depot is probably worth it. It's just kind of in the way of everything. We should get a 3rd... We need the 3rd machine shop. We also need, like, 2 more factories. We're floating so much, we could add 2 more factories and the 3rd machine shop. And over here... We could use more gates. We could also use another main over here or over here. It seems like Durandal's just like it's just like too overwhelmed by this game to properly set up another main as you need to as Protoss. Without another main, you probably eventually lose the game. And you obviously need, this is illegal. You have to stop this from happening. You need to stay on top of your scouting, scout the corner bases, make sure Terran doesn't take those illegally. Properly pressure Terran to stop them from mining this fourth, because this is also kind of not... This is like kind of somewhat illegal when you're on 122 supply. You should be able to just like make a round of Dragoons and Zealots and move them into this sort of position. We have so many idle probes over here. TTs. Making TTs into the player who has made science vessels for the past 10 minutes of the game is certainly a choice. Yeah. Good targeting, avoiding that tank that is defense matrixed. Airn hasn't really successfully pushed out on the map at any point with like a successful like siege tank push, but Durandal hasn't pressured Terran spaces well enough that Terran can just kind of keep doing it. Eventually, if they keep on trading armies like this for the next 20 minutes, Terran should just win the game. Especially once 3-3 kicks in. Yeah, look at this mine. Okay. Zealot rally will kind of clear the tanks. Where's the rest of our army? Simply, we're just not macroing enough. And again, this is why we need a third machine shop. Like, once you get to these high supplies, you just kind of can't refill your siege tank count once you lose siege tanks on just 2 machine shops. You need a third machine shop and possibly a fourth machine shop to properly like restore any lost siege tanks in your engagements. Because without a high siege tank count, you probably shouldn't even be thinking about a move out. So yeah, Starcraft 1. You can't select multiple buildings at once. So usually the way in StarCraft 1 macro works is that you just kind of like clump up all your buildings into like a square or something approximating a square, so that you can like click on as many gateways or factories as possible from your screen. Or you try to hotkey individual like factories or gateways. But at this point in the game, there's so many factories and so many gateways, you can't hotkey every single one. So you have to just kind of rely on just like moving your screen or using a screen hotkey to like save this position, you know, like screen hotkeys to basically like click on all the factories as quickly as possible. I can't believe we set the command center. This is not like game ending for Terran, because we can kind of rebuild the command center, and in the meantime we can mine over here. And over here. In fact, I think this might possibly be even bad for Durandal, because Durandal probably thinks that sniping the command center has given him a meaningful advantage, when the truth is it has not. I would say it has not really mattered. It doesn't really matter, truth be told. Good tank micro. This is like the benefits of using unsieged tanks. Like, unsieged tanks can still fight pretty well against Dragoons, especially with like vultures, and they can also move out of storms. This is a very strong push right now. We need more zealots to fight against this. And we need to rally vultures. Realistically, we should not be pushing out with just 5 siege tanks without like at least like 15 vultures backing this up, I would say. I think that like we've gotten really good value out of D-Matrix the past 5 minutes. You can also D-Matrix this tank. Now that's still 1 HP. Yeah, nice. Yeah, this is how you cast D-Matrix. Just like completely negates Psy Storm. And this is really good because this was basically Durandal's attempt to take control of another section of the map, and it's completely faltered. This base will die. There's no way to save it at this point. What do we have? Another round of Dragoons. AFK Arbiter. It's been AFK for a while. Yeah, it seems like SeeQu is taking advantage of it. It's just like very slowly starting to win this game. Or at this point it's like, I would say it's like 80-20 in SeeQu's favor. Because the economy for Terran is so big. Protoss just can't do much. And we just kind of like can just keep on picking off Protoss bases and keeping Protoss cornered in their section of the map. We do have an Arbiter, but we have Sides Vessels. That was a really good stasis. Wow, okay. We stasised most of the tanks. But there's so many Zealots, or so many Vultures rather, that we can just kind of kill every single Zealot, and now these Dragoons are isolated. They are EMP'd. And honestly, just 2 Siege Tanks will force these Dragoons back. Yeah. They stayed too long that they died. That might be Durandal's last major fight. At this point, it's just kind of like death woes. Durandal's major problem was not developing enough to other corner bases and not scouting, not making observers to scout Terran expansions and move-outs. If we had an observer just patrolling this quadrant, we would have like secured a much better position for ourselves. Like this attack needed to happen like 10 minutes ago, basically. At this point it's too late. This is a bit troll, though. Like, you can't just move out siege tanks like this. These siege tanks should all die. It doesn't really matter because we still have like 170 supply. So we can just kind of do anything. In fact, what does Protoss have? This is 1 storm, 2 storms, and 1 stasis, and the second stasis soon. If it all gets EMP'd, that EMP'd. Okay, that EMP'd 1 Arbiter. Funnily enough, we actually stasised every single science vessel, so we needed to rely on scans to finish off the invisible units. Okay, yeah, we're broke. Meanwhile, SeeQu can make 43 siege tanks off this gas bank. Huh? Oh, I guess we're long distance mining? The miner will spot this. Oh dear. "18 probes. Grats. Yeah. GG. I do still think we needed a 3rd machine shop to properly restock on our siege tanks. Okay, 1 more game. Who is it this time? It's Moonwalk versus SeeQu. So this will be a TVZ from the what is the game name called? Ashes of something? Armies of Exego. Okay, Armies of Exego Pro versus Milksteak. So, bottom right is Milksteak. By the way, this username is different from what it was last time. Last time there was a 4 inside the username. This time it's actually like only letters. Anyways, bottom left is SeeQu. Okay, so let's see what happens. This is a Wallen, like last game. Seems like SeeQu is very familiar with Wallens. Wait, actually, truth be told, it wasn't a Wallen, was it? Because I think, like, we still saw Marines go through it, but go past it. So this might not be link tight. In which case, it's kind of pointless. Milksteak will get the first scout, as long as he doesn't send the Overlord up, but he probably won't. Because sometimes, like, Zergs will just assume that there will be some sort of building in the natural. So if they don't see the building in the natural, they will just kind of like start to assume that there's nothing here. So they'll just like kind of start sending the Overlord to another location. I doubt that it will happen this game though. We got the drone kill. Interesting. That is impressive and very annoying for a Zerg. Then we put a supply block to prevent the hatchery, which is also very annoying. Didn't Milksteak also get his hatchery blocked when you play against Durandal? Must be pretty annoying for his Milksteak. Annoying weak. We kind of. Do we want to like kill this and then put up a hatchery here, or do we just want to send a hatchery over here? I think if I was in this position and this happened to me, I would just like place a hatchery over here. Anyways, fast command center. This is very similar to how he played against Durandal. I'm curious if it will be exactly the same build with like factory units instead of Marine Medic, or if we will go into Marine Medic. Okay. Well, we majorly delayed this hatchery. It seems like Milksteak doesn't deal with hatchery blocks well. And we are starting our CC. This is a late pool as well. Clearly, we wanted to place down a faster hatchery than this. Because, like, overpool, when it's overpool, the spawning pool finishes at 2:05. Which means this is a minute and 20 seconds later than standard overpool timing. So this was clearly going to be a fast hatchery build, which got completely derailed by the hatchery block. And we killed a drone. This is good Marine Micro. This is a really good Marine Micro. We might just kill another drone. Actually, we can kill this. Like, just... Or like, at least, like, dive it behind the minerals. Snipe it, like, send it over here. I'm curious if we get this. We do not. Unfortunate. So close. If you get that drone kill, some Zergs might just leave the game out of tilt, to be honest. Please type DND. Oh, you mean like the... Yeah. How do I remove DND after? Do I just type DND again? Okay, it will not be factory units. It will be M&M. Over here, creep colony, lair. Seems like it will probably go to Spire as is standard. This is playing very safe because we have 8 links, plus a creep colony, so we're just kind of like trying to stay up on top of everything and not die to any sort of early pressure. This looks kind of... okay, so it'll be Academy before eBay. And there's the eBay. I imagine turrets will be finished in time. What a strange place to place more supply depots. Why would you place them there? I would be kind of like worried about placing them there because mutas can just kind of be over here and snipe them. So it seems odd to me. Are we making medics? Yeah, we are. Are we getting stim? We are. The Spire is late enough that we can push across the map with this and force out a second Sunken. But no need, because the second Sunken is already finishing up. So... oh. Okay, we scouted the Spire. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. At this point you can't push out because the mutas will finish before you get across the map and bust. +1 is started. Stimpack is finished. Range is not started. Turrets are started. We have 2 turrets over here, no turrets over here, so the mutas can just kind of camp here and spawn, kill like these 3 SCVs when they finish, when they fly over. 3 turrets over here. Seems like the turret coverage is good enough that we definitely won't die to just mutas. In fact, there might be too many turrets, technically speaking. Right now there's more turrets than there are mutas. Only 5 mutas. More mutas will be hatching soon. Lynx, huh? Okay, interesting. We're going for Lynx muta, so maybe the hope is that SeeQu pushes out on the map with his marine ball, and then we can surround it and crush it with Lynx and mutas. I think that's called Sulky style at this point, because Sulky did that a lot in ASL. I don't know what you mean by drum sound effects. Six mutas. The mutas aren't getting a lot done, but it's probably better than losing them. I think a lot of Zergs would try to like be like in the mode of like, I have to get things done with mutas, so I must like fly them in, even if that means losing them. Okay, so we were going for like a Ling muta crush, but unfortunately we weren't able to get a good surround with the Lings, and instead of basically jumping on top of the marine ball, our Lings got jumped by the Marines. So the engagement kind of turned out the opposite of how Zerg wanted it to go. And we did not have enough Lings for really this large of a marine ball. It seems like Milksteak did not expect this much macro from the SeeQu, because this is a really good healthy marine count. And they're also slow Lings. So there were a lot of reasons why that Ling muta fight did not work out well for Zerg. Okay, this was enough Lings that we kind of held this. We did lose a lot of mutas. It seems like SeeQu tried to target the mutas in that engagement. So even though we lost the fight, we still killed a lot of high-value Zerg units in it. Okay, Lurker aspect is started. On the Terran side, we need to start getting into science vessels. So for some context, the factory ideal starting time is 6:30 or around 6 to 6:30, which means that the factory should finish at around like 7 or so. As such, the starport should be started at like around like 7 or like 8 minutes. And it's currently 9 minutes and 30 seconds, so it's a bit late. We did bust a third though, interesting. Yeah, there just wasn't a whole lot here, so I guess once we scouted it, we just were able to like kill it. There weren't many drones at this third, maybe like 2 or 1. It's still really bad for Milksteak though. And I think it all happened because we just lost like such a large chunk of our mutas, meaning we just like didn't have any army to protect against these sorts of bust attempts. Yeah. Have a good night, White Defender. Siege Tank is out. Okay, it seems like this game might just be over. It seems like this heading thing is just like we have 39 SCVs versus 17 drones. Our macro is just like really good at SeeQu. Yeah, GG. It's just like really solid Marine medic play. Like just like getting good SCV count, getting lots of barracks, just like pumping Marines medics and moving across the map using stim. Just like really solid. Right. So I believe that was the last game of the cast, so I think that should be all. Alright, thank you everyone for watching. That was all 5 games that are in the replay folder. So I think that is all. Alright. Thank you for joining. It was a fun cast. I think a lot of these games were Durandals. I was very impressed by how SeeQu played. It seems like SeeQu's I think like SeeQu's game against Moonwalk looked very, very solid. Like just like good macro and good SCV count. It seems like the theory was a bit strange in the game against Durandal, but it really worked out in the end. Like, you know, high base count, good use of D matrix, and eventually just like some solid pushes closed out the game. Right. Alright, goodbye everyone.